Okay, welcome guys to our first recording session, I think. Many more to come. The purpose of this video is to share our stories first, and plus, how golf is helping us in our recovery process, in our day-to-day life. I've got Nick here and Dom, and I'll start with my story first, my background. So my name is Vikrant Gurung, but everyone calls me G. That's the easy way to pronounce and easy way to remember, I reckon. I was with Green Jackets, and then it formed into Two Rifles. So I was with Two Rifles. I've done a couple of operational tours like Northern Ireland, Kosovo, Iraq, and Afghanistan. In August 2009, whilst I was in patrol, I got hit by an ID where I lost my right leg above knee and 25% of my left leg. I don't remember at all what happened to me on that day. Just remember waking up in Selyoak Hospital, and I didn't know I lost my leg, actually. The doctor told me, and a couple of days later, they told me, oh, you lost your leg. It's going to be a long process. And then I was sent down to Headley Court, down in London. And that's where I did my rehab. I had my prosthetic, tried to walk back, try to walk, try to run, try to pick up a pencil from the floor, try to sit down, try to stand up. Everything was adaptation. It was very difficult at start, but life goes on, I think. And I got medical discharge in 2013, and till now I really had ups and downs, which I'm going to share it later. I'll go with Dom's story. Dom, would you like to share?
Yeah, Dom Felton served with 2nd and 5th Royal Regiment Fusiliers. Operational deployments was Granby and Northern Ireland Resident Battalion, AMFL Fulford. Basically what happened to me was I was on duty at Clogau Crossing. We call it Romeo 15, a permanent vehicle checkpoint. The IRA decided to attack the checkpoint with a £2,000 IED, sent down a railway line, decimated the checkpoint, injuring myself and injuring a few of my colleagues and killing a good friend of mine. Basically, we carried on the tour after that. I got the bilateral blast injuries, a few shrapnel wounds, nothing major. I thought I got away, thought I got off quite lightly with it. But there was a deeper wound that was to follow on, which I'll discuss later on with you guys. Carried on the tour, and then ended the tour at end of service, 94, left, and that's where my trouble started. That's about it, really, for me.
So you got injured in 92, and you got out after 2 years.
After 2 years, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah. We just. It was like I said, from a physical point of view, I was I said I didn't even consider myself injured. I got the eardrums were blasted out, and the obligatory shrapnel wounds, but nothing major, nothing to prevent me continuing my military career. Obviously, as I carried on, I noticed changes within myself. Dismissed them, didn't think nothing of them until later on after my military career.
Okay, guys. Before I start with Nick, I just wanted to say, if you any point in time, if you want, to stop it, or have a break, you can have a break, because we are telling the story. We get emotional, so anytime, if you want to stop, let me know. Yeah, Nick, would you like to?
Yeah, so my name is Nick Franklin. I was with 1st Battalion, Princess of Wales Royal Regiment. I enlisted in 2008. So I was a bit of a latecomer into the military. First deployment was back in 2011. It was my first tour. So I was fairly new. Most military term, they call it a red arse. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed my military career. Went to Afghanistan, like I said, in 2011, and on a routine patrol, I'd got hit with an IED, lost the lower half left leg, and badly damaged right leg. I think it was about like 70% damage to the right leg. Again, like most things, I didn't really notice too much in mental health wise because I didn't really think anything of it. Obviously, got flown back to Bastion and then flown back to Birmingham at the QE, which was where they do all the
Selly Hospital, I think.
Yeah, Selly Oak. So went back there, and then I was 2 months at Birmingham Hospital. Obviously, come out just after Christmas, and I had 2 weeks at home. In that 2 weeks at home before I went to Headley Court, that's when little things started to pop up. That obviously my family and friends noticed something different within me. It wasn't until I got to Headley Court when they started doing obviously little rehab sessions with mental health and physio and stuff like that. That's when in the mental health meetings they picked up and realised that I'd suffered with PTSD, which for most people that don't understand it is post-traumatic stress disorder, or the new one is post-traumatic stress injury, because they've changed the term for it. Yeah, I think like most things, I struggled quite a bit. I was a really fit, active sort of lad. Smashed out 1.5 miles in 8.5 minutes, and now I'm just about coping to do 200 meters. So the physical side, it was very challenging. Yeah, I found it a little bit difficult with the physical side, and then that's when it started to pop up more, which I'll explain a little bit more into it later in regards to the mental health side.
Yeah. So when you got diagnosed, the PTSD, is that soon after injury or after few years later, or?
It was, I think it was a good 6 months after I got injured that they picked up and they come with the diagnosis that I would suffer with PTSD. And obviously they continued doing the counselling all the way up until I got medically discharged on the 28th of February 2014.
Yeah, it's quite, because for the physical, obviously it will be different for Dom, because when I got injured in 2009, I was diagnosed with PTSD in 2016, I think, because you just think about your physical injury first, and then later on it will affect you mentally. I think it's the same with Dom. Obviously, when did you get diagnosed with PTSD though?
Well, as I already mentioned, from the physical side of things, I thought I'd got off relatively lightly. I left the army in '94 and basically started to struggle from that point onwards, really. Something that I never noticed, it was changes noticed by friends and family. But this went on from '94 up until it was the end of 2010, 2011 before I even got the diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder. It was you have to understand that back in those days, it was, although it was heard of, it wasn't really recognised as anything. I didn't get myself injured. I didn't, I just, as I said, physically, from a physical point of view, I just thought I got away lightly with it. You know, I mean, my friends were killed and a lot more seriously injured than I. But the mental health side of it was absolutely devastating for me, because it was, like I said, a slow downward spiral from 94 right up to like my first breakdown was 1998. Self-medicating with alcohol, burying my head in work, hiding behind a mask, self-isolating in the house. And this happened, I would say, relatively quickly. I mean, from when I came out in 94, within a month, I was like feeling bad. I was reliving 1-5. I was reliving the night, seeing the explosion, seeing Andy's face, but not just as a memory. It was in 3D. It was real. It was there, and this was going on all that time, every day, every night. That's why I was drinking. I wasn't an alcoholic or anything. I was drinking to try and forget, to try and, you know, like
that's what we do, isn't it? Like, you know, we find a substitute. Like, you know, if we don't want to take a medication. That's the thing. We would like to have alcohol. You know, I was alcoholic for 7-8 months. Same. I was, yes. It's quite difficult.
I understand. I mean, it's a cultural thing. Yeah, in the army, that's what we used to do, isn't it? You know, like we used to go out with the lads in the naffy, get pissed. That's it. But in my case, it was a coping strategy. And in the short term, it worked. But given the length of my illness, and I've still got it today, I always will have it. But it was not a good coping strategy in the long run. From a short sort of period, yeah, it's great, you know, but it doesn't. You sort of become reliant on it. But I wasn't waking up in the morning having cold sweats and looking for my first pint, you know, like 6 o'clock. It wasn't like that. It was just with the stresses and the anxiety and the flashbacks and of the day. That was like at the end of work, instead of going home, I would go in the pub, find my usual spot, and just get drunk. So there was a what if cycle. What if I'd done this? What if I'd done that? You know, and no matter how I changed the scenario within my own mind, it still resulted in the same ending of us getting blown up. I couldn't stop the bomb. Andy getting killed and my friends getting hurt, and that's how it went on. So,
for Nick, I think it might be quite different. I think because obviously you suffered a physical injury first, so you never thought about your mental health side.
No, I think, like you said, when it comes to like a physical injury, you're solely concentrating on that and kind of rebuilding yourself and getting yourself back into a fit order. But then it's not until little things start happening that you can't do, like you can't ride a bike, or you can't do this, or you can't play football, or go for a run.
Yeah,
just little things like that, and that's when it starts to affect you, and then it starts to hit you a little bit harder. For me, like I said before, I was a very fit, active person, and I struggled with it quite badly, in the sense that, yes, all right, I've got a physical injury, but mentally it was taking its toll. I just couldn't cope with it.
Yeah,
I think for me,
it is, isn't it? Do you think about your physical injury first? Obviously, I was same. What you used to do, you can't do it now, kind of thing. You used to play football, you can't do it now. You used to ride a bike, or used to run, you can't do it. And that small things piles up, and that's, you know, it's just piling it up, and you don't notice it.
No, and I think it's a good term that the military use. It's adapt and overcome. And the military, especially within the army, do you know what I mean? You get like a bungee cord to hold your webbing together and a green string just to hold your bloody bag on. So you have to learn to adapt and overcome with the environment you have. And I think for myself, I learned quite quick with that, which basically gave me that thrive to challenge myself more.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, all right, I've got a physical injury, and yes, everyone can see it. But in the back of my mind, I was just trying not to let it deter me. Yeah, I think it's a good. Like I said, I found it a little bit difficult. Still find things a little bit difficult. There's still things that I can't do. I wish I could do it, but I can't. So I have to do what most people do: sit on the sideline and just watch it. So yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna drift into another topic now. So how did you play, Nick? Sorry, did you play golf before your injury?
No. I've never touched a club before in my life. Never even thought about picking up a club. I used to think it used to be a rich man's sport. But obviously, like all things, times change and it becomes more of a social thing. And yeah, it's still stages where it can look like it's still rich man's game. There are certain elements where you get that snootiness, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I've never touched it before. A friend of mine introduced me to it back in probably the early stage of 2017. And I went to a range with him just to hit a few balls, and I started to enjoy it. And I found it a little bit of an escape, and a release.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I found it helps me. And then obviously started talking about it a lot more with the wife. And yeah, she was just like, well, why don't you give it a go? Why don't you see you can get into it? And obviously, at first, you're a little bit like hesitant because you think, oh, what if my leg gives in, or what if this happens?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then it wasn't until obviously someone introduced me to a charity that obviously the Young Cause Foundation that helps people like myself play golf.
Yeah. Dom, did you play golf before, or? I don't think so. Yeah, most of us. Yeah, I never played the golf club before.
I'm from Bolton, mate. I mean, I always remember as a child having an interest in golf, i.e. watching it on the TV.
Yeah.
I always remember once saying to my father that I'd love to take that sport up, and my dad being my dad, like Bolton lad, engineer and all that, no, it's either rugby or football for you, you know. So it's like very much like Nick. It seemed it was seen as a posh man's sport, and no, it was an absolute no-no where I came from. But after as I said, I'd spent a long period in the wilderness, if you would, before I actually got help. So it was, I would say, end of 2011, beginning of 2012, I was with a charity. We've been going through all sorts of therapies like psychodynamic, exposure therapies, EMDR, CBT. Nothing was working for me. And I was actually speaking with an occupational therapist who sent me off to a day on the driving range at Air Golf Club, of all places. I had 100 balls. I probably only hit 5, and they weren't straight, you know. But it was an instant sort of that felt good feeling, a feeling that I'd not felt for years. Not, you know, like coming off that range satisfied. A sort of, like Nick said, a venting, you know, like a focusing of all because of rage, and all the rage and the anger that I inside of me at the time. So I went down that shaft onto the club and into the ball, and I felt good. And then I was still reticent about it. I was actually still dragged kicking and screaming to the rage by a good friend of mine, but no, I ended up embracing it. I loved it.
Yeah, it's the same thing, you know. It's just I never thought I would play golf. I remember John Simpson, our founder, On Course Foundation founder. He was in Headley Court, and he was talking about golf. You know, how you can recover through golf. How, you know, the golf can help you through your rehab process. And we were just looking around. We had like amputees, no legs, wheelchairs, crutches, and he was telling us to play golf. And at first, you know, we just thought, like, you know, what the rubbish, what he's talking about. And we were out of the room. And a few days later, that he invited us to Royal Wimbledon Golf Club for an introduction event. And that's where I hit the golf for the first time, and it was kind of, you just get hooked, isn't it? It's like you just think, oh, actually I can do this. This is a sport for me, kind of thing. So yeah, I got hooked from that moment. Nick, when was your first event though? When was
mine was,
I would say 18 holes.
Mine was September. Was it September 2017? Properly, where I played 18 holes.
Is that the Nottinghamshire? Did you say?
Yeah, I played at the Nottinghamshire with On Course. And at the time, I only bought like a set of clubs off of eBay. They weren't really fitted to me. They were blades, so I was lucky if I even hit a barn door with them. But every so often, you hit that one decent shot, and it kind of grabs you and it captures you in that game, and you think, oh bloody hell, if I can do that, then I can carry on doing it. And you get more and more sucked into it. But yeah, it was the Nottinghamshire, and like I said, when I first turned up at the Nottinghamshire in 2017, I wasn't a really confident person, and I wasn't overly confident in playing in golf, because I knew I wasn't brilliant, and I knew there'd be people that I will play with that are going to be like amazing.
Yeah.
But like all things, it's that coaching and that mentoring, getting you into a better place and a better position to play golf. And yeah, my confidence grew as time went on with golf, and yeah, now you just can't even get me off the course. Come rain or shine, I'll go. And I've been in some proper horrendous weathers with some of the people I play with, and yeah, and I've been in some amazing places, and the sun's shining, so, and I love it, absolutely love it.
Yeah, I what you play off now? 22. Oh yeah, I just.
You can sit there and laugh all you want, Dom.
Yeah, still a bandit though.
Still a bandit.
Dom, when was your first event though? I think it was 2015. Is that right?
September 2015.
Yeah.
Mia Golf Club in Cheshire, I believe.
Okay.
Very posh for me.
All right.
This were all, you know, given that I'd not been out of the house for God knows 9 years, it was like I've suddenly found myself in the company of a great set of lads. I mean, at the time I was quite reticent. I had still within my shell, but thoroughly enjoyed it. I believe when we were there, it was the Liverpool and Man United legends playing each other.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what is this? There's a I started to talk to the lads within the group, and I did get on with them. Still quite withdrawn, but slowly I could feel myself thinking, yeah, I love this. This is great. I turned up with a set of Wilson, but me being me, I got out and bought a new set, and they were Wilsons, but they were terrible. But I was terrible then, still am really, but I just got on that golf course and I was off. I went round with, I think it was Aaron Moon we went round with, and I loved it.
Yeah.
And we were in a buggy as well, and I thought, it's not even hard work this, it's great, we're in a buggy, going around. Aaron was really supportive of me. He really looked after me on that first day. And then, obviously, apart from the story of me calling Clayton Blackmore Gaza, it was just, oh, it was great. I left that place for the first time feeling part of something and with a smile on my face and happy inside, which is hard to describe to you what that felt to me.
Yeah. So when we go to the events, like Nick, you said, at first you get nervous, definitely, because you don't know anyone. But how comfortable you will feel after 3 days of event, after you finish that event? How do you feel?
I think for people that don't quite understand it, like from mine or Dom's point of view or yourself.
Yeah.
So when you look at it in the aspect of like everyday life, so like bills, home life, work and stuff like that, there's always an element of stress. And every time I hear about one of these 3-day events, I'm like a kid in the candy shop. I cannot wait to get on that 3-day event because I know I'm going to be having a brilliant time, and all that sort of like home life, work life and stuff just literally just gets pushed to the side. And you don't worry about that. You're just worrying about how you're going to hit a tiny little ball into an even smaller hole and try and make a par or birdie or whatever you want to try and get. But yeah, I find myself so much more relaxed when I go away on these events. And like Dom was saying there, you kind of a little bit unsure at first when you start getting into these events, but then as your confidence grows and you start making more and more friends, and you start becoming part of the family.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit like being back in the army again. You're part of that family life, and there's not a day that's gone past. If I've had a bad day or a bad night, there's always someone that will sit there and listen, and they'll always have a different perspective on how to challenge that and how to get past that stage instead of spiraling back down into that little hole again. So yeah, I generally enjoy every minute of it, and I love going away on them 3-day events. Yeah,
it's I think when we do we do a 1-day event with Combat Stress down in Leatherhead. Whenever the guys come on, they are nervous to get on the event. I always tell them, I think you just have to get on and just try one event, and soon you finish that, you just wanted to come back again. You just feel so safe, and with your, other guys are on the same boat as us, and then they listen to you, they understand you firstly, what we're going through, what they're going through, it's just, Dom, what do you think of that? You think you feel safe, relaxed?
Absolutely. I mean, I regained something when I started to play the golf. I regained like a family. You have that camaraderie within the battalion too. And when you leave, which can be very brutal at times, leaving the army. I mean, for me, it was like we'd done the deployment and I'd gone. All my lads were still out on the ground. So I was like on my own. Going through the usual rigmarole, getting your chitty signed, and then off you go. So it's quite a brutal way of losing everything. You know, everything that you've known, your friends, you know, like your family, your brothers and all that, and suddenly gone, you're on your own. And to add on to that, unbeknownst to you, you're suffering with mental health issues, just compounds it. So when I started playing golf and I went with OCF and I was with like all the lads, I regained that family. I regained the friendships, and I to this day now I love every one of these lads I meet, everyone, every member, all the lads, the ladies, everybody. I love them to death, and they're like my new family, and they're so welcoming and supportive. And the way I was brought on by you know, the golf, I was like to be coaxed out of basically seclusion, self-inclusion, to do the things I've done with the charity. It's like, I mean, I've not been on a bus since 1992. And, you know, it was all through the fears, the triggers and all that. I mean, obviously I wouldn't have been on a bus if I was in the army, but when I came out 94, I've not been on public transport, anything like that. I couldn't use it. It was a huge trigger for me. And then for the charity to coax me onto the events, bit by bit, improve, add more, show to me that I can leave the house, I can drive up a road and travel quite a distance to some of the venues. And then it's sort of a natural progression. It's like, well, I need a pee, I better stop off at this motorway service station, which I wouldn't have done normally. And then I go into the service station and one thing leads to, I might have a quick brew. I'm sat there and I'm still jittery, I'm still nervous, I'm still vigilant, I'm still looking around, but I've done it. And I get back in the car, get to the venue, and then, all the lads are there, come on, you're going to have your balls going to lose this week, you know, and then it's brilliant, you know. And then you say, you leave, and then, well, I can repeat that process because I've done it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been so proactive in my own recovery, which I had to be really, because I've quite literally been on my own, and the charity have like paved the way for me to achieve and do things that I never thought I would do, like going to Spain, America with them. And then finally, well, before that, I went to America for a radical therapy for the PTSD, which changed my life. And I wouldn't have done that if it hadn't been for playing golf, meeting these great people, and moving me on.
Gets your confidence back on, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree with that. I think like Don was saying, like with regards to everyone, you couldn't fault a bunch of brilliant guys and girls. Like all of them were just absolutely down to earth. And for me, like some of the people I've met are just absolutely remarkable. I mean, John Devlin, for one. Do you know what I mean? With him, where he's come from up until where he is now, and I look up to him. I'm quite inspired by his journey and where he's got to. And yeah, there's little things he said to me. It's not about. He said to me before, it's not about what happened on the last hole. It's about what's going to happen next, and the next shot. He said, try and push that hole to the back of your mind, and it's all about what's going to happen next and what's the next shot, sort of thing. So, yeah, I 100% agree with Dom. Yeah. Couldn't fault anyone. Absolutely love all of them pieces, and I'm massively grateful to be a part of that family.
Yeah. So Nick, have you learned things about yourself and moving on to the golf?
Being a bandit. Yeah, I think. What's that?
He doesn't know the rules.
Yeah. Talking about rules, though, the rules. Obviously, so many rules in golf. Obviously, I didn't know anything. I still don't know much of them. But when you started, how does it, does it find it difficult or?
Yeah, I think now we're getting to the nuts and cruts of the conversation, and we're going to talk about the rules. And I think like for me, I didn't have a Scooby Doo when it comes to the rules. I didn't realise that when you take a drop, it counts as 2 shots. So I just thought it was just take your shot and carry on as normal. But yeah, like you're saying, there's loads of rules, and trying to learn the basics was quite difficult. Slowly getting there with a lot of the rules, but yeah, it has its little challenges, and as long as you've got a basic understanding, the game becomes relatively easy. But yeah, I think for like myself, I've learned a lot about myself, and like my ability where I didn't think I had it, especially from a physical point of view. I didn't think I'd be able to hit some of the balls the way I do and take shots the way I have. And like I said before, if it wasn't for the mentoring through the on-course, through their coaching team, like Di, Alistair and Richards, like I don't think I'd be anywhere where I was. And there's a lot of people, especially Dom, saying I'm a bandit because I play off 22. But yeah, I think if it wasn't for them guys and kind of learning about us and what stance suits us best and what the best way to hit the ball with the ability we got, because not everyone's the same as me. Yeah. I mean, and like Dom, his ability is hidden, whereas mine, you can see mine. So everyone has a different aspect of how to play.
That's the thing. I always say every injury is different because our injury is so easy because it's physical. People can see it, easy to explain. But some injuries, like Dom or other members as well in On-Course Foundation, or other veterans, they have a hidden injury which is really hard to explain. You can't see it, so and it's not easy to explain as ours.
And I think when people get that frustrated inside and people are sitting there going, "Well, Jesus, where's that come from?" People just don't realise that there's that hidden ability that's getting really, really psyched and really worked up. And then it's different for us, like I said, and like you said, ours is a physical injury. But for like Dom, I mean, Dom couldn't explain it more because obviously he's got that hidden ability, and understands it, the stress and the strain from trying to hit a tiny little ball into a hole. I'll leave that one for you, Dom.
Me, mate. God, I think to best describe it for me, if you want me to explain what it's like to have like the psychological side of things,
yeah, like when obviously when you I've seen it with you a few times when we've played and you swung and you missed the ball and you can see it in the back of your head, you're about to snap. And I just like saying how you deal with it through that sort of side.
It's frustration, but it's the right kind of frustration. It's focused. It's like it shows me that I can go out and get frustrated, and instead of like from past events hurting other people, fighting and stuff, I can take that challenge on. But I don't see, when I'm playing with you guys, I'm not against you. I always see it as the course against me. So you can't hurt the course. And the course of 9 times out of 10 will beat me, but you can always beat it on at least a couple of balls, you know what? So for me, that's the challenge, is there, that frustration and anger. Of course it's there. So it always will be there. I have got a psychological injury, but I think the ultimate,
the
ultimate difference for me is the support that I get from you guys, and from you guys, G and Mark, and even Anne at the office doesn't know me from Adam, you know. But when I email her for something, and she'll email me back, say, "Hello, Dom," you know, and she's got, you know, and it's just, it's just all that, it's all there wrapped up in a ball, and it's like a parcel to take home with you, and it saved me. It kept me alive, and it literally kept me alive, and is today. Always will.
Yeah.
So
it's
No, I'm just saying, and I am so grateful for it.
We are.
I can't stress how you.
I am. I think Nick would say the same thing. It's like we are
massively.
I think.
I don't think there's a single thing you could say bad about it. There's no bad in it. Everything's got a good vibe. Every event we've gone to, or every time I played on the course with guys, there's always a good vibe. There's always that banter, that laugh, that taking the little mickey out of each other. And even if I do it, I still probably do it now. I get that little demon in the back of my mind when I start doubting myself about trying to make this shot or trying to get out of it. And I do, and I get into that self how to put it, confidence. Like, I don't feel confident in myself, so I start doubting myself in the back of my mind. But then that's when I get people like yourself, Dom, that will always say something that picks you back up, especially Cy Auckland. Weezy.
I will try to bring him on this video, though. I think I'll ask him.
Yeah,
yeah, that'd be great.
It'd be interesting to see it from his point. But I mean, like him, and I've played with Cy quite a lot, and every time that I try getting out of bunkers, he'll sit there and he'll do a little bit of a coaching mechanism with me, and I'm sitting there going, "All right, Dad, chill out." So, and ever since then, I've just had like such a good bond with him. So yeah, he's basically like dad to me now.
Yeah. Guys, I think before I wrap up, both of you, this is, what's the highest point from this time since starting the golf? What's your your memory, good memory, since you started golf till today?
I think for me, it's not so much memory, it's the feelings that I get from being involved with all you guys, from being involved with the golf. Yes, going to exotic places that I never thought I'd go to in my life. But the overwhelming thing for me is feeling of family, of belonging, and of wanting to be part of it as well.
Yeah.
It's given me my motivation back, my mojo. It's given me a family and people that I genuinely love. But yeah, and so many great memories. I couldn't possibly pick one out.
Yeah, I think likewise, and Dom's pretty much took the words out of my mouth with a lot of it. You've got hundreds of memories of things that have gone on and happened, and all the guys I've met and girls. And like Dom said, you go on these like luxury events like America and Spain, which I haven't gone on yet, but I hope to in the future. But
can I just interrupt? Yeah. Sorry, I lied. I've got one huge memory.
You dick.
A brand new Cobra up in the tree.
Yeah, Cobra. Yeah, I think that's Dom's fondest memory. So this was in America, and Dom was with me on that event.
Oh, the Orlando one. Okay.
Yeah, and this is in Orlando. Yeah, I've been playing really well. I think it was second to last hole, wasn't it, Dom? and it literally, I went to go and hit this phenomenal drive, and I must have duffed it about 6 foot to the left hand side, went straight in the rough, and I lost it. And I kicked this driver, literally held the driver in the middle, kicked it straight up in the air. This thing just wobbled up into the air. Must have got a good 30 foot and just landed at the top of the tree. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, fuck it. And this lot sitting behind me, pissing themselves. But that's the thing. That's like one of thousands of memories that we can always look back on and laugh about. When the chips are down. And when the chips are down, you're just going, oh, do you remember that day you kicked your driver in the tree?
Yeah.
And it literally instantaneously takes your mind out of that bad spot, takes you back to that good memory, and just laugh. And I think that's what people don't quite realise when it comes to mental health.
Yeah.
Because when you get back in that bad spot, it's hard to get out of it unless someone can remind you of a funny or happy memory.
Yeah.
And that there is probably why I'm massively grateful for On Course and through the golf, because these are memories I probably would never have had if I didn't take it up or didn't go with the charity or meet these guys. So yeah, hand on heart, I just can't say enough.
Okay, guys. I think we might wrap up now. Thank you, guys. First of all, and coming and sharing your story. It was great. Always great to see you guys in the golf course or even in the Zoom meeting like this. But yeah, thank you. And hopefully we will come back with some more stories and I should tell. And thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dom.
Thank you.
Thank you.